Welcome to Getting Negative. This is part 2 of the New York series. In this episode, Rocky and I go hang out in Midtown Manhattan. We go to B&H, and I get to indulge one of my dreams that I never even realized I had until I was doing it, of being a New York City street photographer. And then Hurricane Ida happens. This episode also features music by the New Jazz Underground. I hope you like the episode. We made our way to B&Hphoto, a hub for photographers and videographers around the world. That was when our flight out of New York was canceled. While Rocky scrambled to find another way to get us home, I decided to focus on the corners of 9th Ave and 34th Street. I got myself into the mindset of a classic New York street photographer. Look both ways, it's the bikers that are gonna get you, Rocky cautioned. One of the keys to my success as a photographer has always been to indulge my impulsiveness to make a photograph. And street photography is like the ultimate form of photography for reacting at the speed of life. Moment by moment, snap decisions are made in anticipation of capturing something special. Deeper into the process, I was simultaneously doing my best to read the feeling in the air. I wasn't looking for a photograph that would lead to a confrontation, but there's inherently interaction. Ethics, mixed with instincts, led me to create as many photographs as I passed up. I know my place. I wasn't going to create any Joel Meyerowitz level masterpieces today, but I wasn't going to miss the opportunity if one of them moved past my 28mm lens. I rattled off photo after photo on those four corners outside of B&H. I stayed relatively dedicated to f8 at 125th of a second, switching the zone focus to try and adapt to the people and the cars. The inner dialogue was a constant wave of instructions. Be cocked and ready to trigger the shutter. Here comes a biker. I'm zone focused 5 to 15 feet, so I might have to step into the bike lane. Click and immediately advance the film. I think I got that. Nice. Hey, there's that guy that I shot a photo of earlier, remember? Aw, my first New York City buddy. I almost got a photo of this guy right in the middle of the street, but he looked away, so I just ended up being in the way of traffic. If he had just looked forward or even possibly looked at me, that could have been a really good one. The framing was nice, I think. Glances are exchanged with many. I take notice of others taking notice of me. I saw someone testing a camera. Without hesitation, I walked towards them and moved off to the far side of the sidewalk. His bodyguard took notice of me and made a halting gesture. Quick on the draw, I captured the moment. He saw that I was just some random guy shooting photos and gave me a wave. And as quick as that happened, this backpack walks by. I wonder who that guy was back there. He had personal security of some sort. Maybe he was famous. Did I just take a photo of a celebrity? Did I just become paparazzi? For almost an hour, I gave myself permission to just live in the fantasy that I was a part of the long, storied history of New York City street photographers, just practicing my craft, clicking away to my heart's content, following the flow of lights and traffic and working the scene of this intersection. While I played, the clouds began to thicken. Rocky found us a bus leaving tonight, a 13-hour drive back to Asheville. As soon as we got back into the truck, the wind started to pick up and we felt the barometer drop. Feeling the storm impose its vicinity was probably the most familiar feeling that I had all day. You could describe shooting photographs from a truck as less than ideal, but I only had the notion of capturing the city to the best of my abilities, and my abilities were sitting shotgun. Rocky had to take a call and pulled over, so I jumped out of the truck on this side street. I overheard these guys razzing their coworker about the details of a recent romantic exploit. It was pretty vulgar, so I'll spare you the details, but I'm pretty confident that there's going to be a second date. It was around this time that I realized I wasn't just taking photos of New York. I've been creating images of Rocky's New York. We were touring the city by his mind and his whims. Driving and walking, he'd point down one street and say, "I lived down that way a couple of blocks when I started Dot Editions in 2005. Or, "This is the building that I told you about, Jay Mazel's building. He never cleaned up the outside. It looks the same way it did in the 60s when he bought it." "The Flatiron Building is right around the corner," Rocky warned as we waited for a chance to turn between all of the pedestrians. I fired off a couple of shots from my passenger seat. We got some dinner, and as soon as we were done, we made our way to Brooklyn to return the truck. That's when I ran out of film. For a moment, I felt at peace knowing that my job as a photographer was completed. There were no more pictures to be made, at least not tonight.
There's the Brooklyn Bridge, and I'm out of film. Oh yeah, just ran out. It's like a perfect case scenario for me.
That's when our cell phones started sounding alarms on a regular basis, warning us of Hurricane Ida and urging us to shelter in place. Our bus to North Carolina was canceled. Night consumed us by the time we parked the truck and had to abandon our only means of transportation. Luckily, one of Rocky's oldest friends lived down the street. He gave us shelter from the storm as more reports came in about how bad things were getting. Subways were flooding. Cars were being abandoned in the streets and on the highways. The city was brought to its knees. We found a hotel for the night. We'd find our way home in the morning.
Thank you for watching. I've got all of the social media links for the New Jazz Underground in the description below. And if you want to watch episode 1 or episode 3, I've got the links right here for you. Thanks a lot.